Welcome to Released Results. This is the A Course in Miracles Letting Go series. And today we're going to be looking at lesson 44. God is the light in which I see. And so much of what we see, we think we're seeing outside of us. It appears as if it's these external things, though the equipment for seeing is not outside of you. That's what this lesson is suggesting. That, and we've been going through these lessons. If you've been with us, we're finding that actually what we're seeing and appears as outside is merely the effect of what we've been holding inside. And that's what we find with letting go, is that these energies that we've been carrying, these negative feelings, become projected. And that shows up in our relationships, that shows up in our house, that shows up in all the situations. Could you allow yourself to clear, to allow up any of this energy that you're not enjoying the effects of, that seem other than preferable to you, so that you can begin to see with the light of God, which you always are and is always with you? Now, it may not seem like that to you right now, and that's okay. There could be resistance to the ideas suggested in the course. Could you use whatever comes up for you for the releasing process? Could you allow this energy to come up and move and set it free and be free to experience the lessons for yourself, to experience the power of releasing for yourself? So let's begin with the lesson for today. God is the light in which I see. To begin, could you allow yourself to just be? Just be, allowing the thoughts that might have been stirring in your mind, could you just let them pass by without following them? Come to being that which notices the thoughts. And there might be some energy, there usually is if there's thoughts, that's stirred up in the body, in your field, in your mind. Could you allow yourself to just be that which notices that energy, those feelings, those thoughts? And this being also might seem to have a body. And could you notice that you notice the body, that it might not be what you actually are? Just trying it out. Could you be that which has a body but isn't a body? Which has feelings but isn't those feelings? Which notices thoughts but isn't those thoughts? Could you allow yourself just to be right now? God is the light in which I see. Just allowing yourself to be with this idea. God is the light in which I see. God is the light in which I see. Just being aware of that idea. And is there any situation which you would like to shine, open, expand the light of God on? You could bring any thought, any feeling, anything going on with the body. Could you allow it to come up in this moment? What seems dark that you would light? And as you're being, noticing whatever this situation is, could you allow it up, whatever it feels like? Any thoughts, any feelings, just noticing it with your being. And could you allow any thoughts to drift by without following them and be with the feeling? Could you allow yourself just to feel and notice whatever that situation is, lightening it within, bringing light to it just by noticing it, feeling it? And could you let go of this and let wherever it was be fully enlightened? Would you let go of this and let it be enlightened? It's okay if yes, it's okay if no. When could you let go of this and see in the light of God? God is the light in which I see. Would you allow yourself to just be and be with this idea? God is the light in which I see. Just being. God is the light in which I see. And as you're being and being with this idea, what would you light? Is there any situation which you would lighten, which you would allow yourself to see with light? Any troubles, any problems, any feelings, any worrying thoughts? And taking that, could you allow yourself to just be aware of that, just the noticer of that? Just noticing the situation, thought, feeling. And could you open up and begin to enlighten it just by feeling it, noticing it, letting it be there in the light? Could you sit being what you are, aware of this feeling, this thought? And could you let it release, enlighten? Would you let it release and see lightness where it was? When could you let it release? There's no rush. Just bringing it up and lightening it up as it comes up. And could you just allow yourself to be and be with this idea? God is the light in which I see. Just being with this idea, God is the light in which I see. Just being, God is the light in which I see. And freeing the mind, the thoughts, the feelings, anything that might come passing through. Could be positive, could be negative. What would you see in the light? And could you welcome anything to your being, to the light, to God, whatever's coming up? Welcoming the thoughts, welcoming the energy, the feeling, welcoming what's happening with this body. Could you just welcome it all? And could you even welcome wanting to change anything about it, wanting to do anything with it, and just welcoming it to your being, welcoming it to the light in which you see? And could you surrender whatever came up, enlighten it? Just let your vision, let the light in which you see meet whatever it was. Would you surrender? Turn it over to God, the light in which you see. It's always optional. Yes or no is fine. And when could you surrender and enlighten whatever was there before? And allowing yourself just to be, just for now. Could you allow yourself just to be? Letting the thoughts drift by, the feelings drift by. Any sense of the body just to drift by. And just being, just for now. And could you be with this idea? God is the light in which I see. God is the light in which I see. Could you be with that idea? Just being with it? God is the light in which I see. And could you notice or allow up anything in this moment which you would see in the light of God? any problems, circumstances, situations, troubles, relationships, stuff going on with the body. Could you just welcome something to your awareness which you would see with the light of God? And could you open up and allow whatever's come up for you? Just being aware of it, feeling it, noticing it, seeing it lightened. Could you watch and feel whatever you would see in the light of God, just as it is? Nothing to change, nothing to do with it, just lightening it by looking at it and feeling it. Could you allow it to move, to lighten, to be seen? And could you let it go? Let it be lightened. Let it be seen in the light of God. Yes or no's fine. And would you let it go? Any belief you had about this? Any thoughts you had about this? Any feeling you had about this? Could you let it go and see it in light? When could you let it go and be with this idea? God is the light in which I see. And maybe you find it lighten. Maybe it still seems dark. That's okay. Just being for right now. God is the light in which I see. Could you be with that idea? Could you just return to being? God is the light in which I see. And as you're being with God in the light in which you see, could you bring anything up that comes up for you to be lightened? It might seem dark, might seem negative. There might be a belief in a problem. You could bring anything to see in the light of God. Could you allow it up, taking something and just opening, just allowing, just feeling and watching whatever you would bring up to see in the light of God? And could you just witness from your being, whatever's come up for you, feeling it, noticing it, putting the light on it. And could you release any belief you had about this, any darkness, whatever was there, just could you release it, enlighten it? Would you release any past conceptions about this, any feeling, and see in the light of God? When could you release any of these old beliefs, perceptions, feelings, and be enlightened? See in the light of God. And could you allow yourself in this moment just to be? There's thoughts, they're not you. Could you just be that which is aware of the thoughts, letting them pass by without grabbing them? There may be feelings you're aware of. Could you just notice them, letting them move without grabbing them? Just being. There's this body, stuff it wants to do, routines. Could you just notice what the body is doing without grabbing onto it? Just being, just for now. Could you just be? And could you be with this idea of today? God is the light in which I see. God is the light in which I see. Could you be with that? God is the light in which I see. Could you allow that to be? And as you go through today, could you allow yourself to be and to see in the light of God, allowing anything that comes up to be enlightened, allowing the release of any seeming darkness and to be filled with light? Could you? You never have to. Could you see with God in the light today? And well done releasing. Thanks for joining us for the Course in Miracles series. We're going to do this every day for 365, do all the lessons. Please join us again. And if you'd like to release more, if you've got other things besides these topics you'd like to bring up for letting go, please join us for free at releasetoresults.com. We have hundreds of sessions available for you. Come to one, come to five. It's free. And lots of replays of these sessions that you can watch anytime. You can search from topics. You can watch the videos of them. You can listen to the audios. You can download them And I'll even send you some books to greatly enhance your releasing process. It's all at releasetoresults.com. Come join a community of people who are going all the way, letting go of all the old beliefs, all the old identities, all the old feelings. Be happy you did, and I'll be happy to see you there. Have the best day you can.